Hi, my name is Eve Kostimich, and today I'm going to be talking to you about cloud computing. The generally accepted definition of cloud computing, as written by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, says, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. This image shows the various capabilities of cloud computing and gives an overview of what we'll be talking about today. The purpose of this presentation is to discuss what cloud computing is, the pros and cons of it, and how it will impact us in the future. First, I will give an introduction to what cloud computing is. Then, I will discuss the types of cloud computing. Next, I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. And lastly, I will wrap up with a conclusion on the topic. So, let us begin by diving into what cloud computing is. Simply stated, cloud computing allows users to create a shared pool of data and information that can be accessed at any time from any place. This image shows the location, services, and pros and cons of cloud computing that we will discuss today. First, beginning with the locations. Cloud computing can either be private, public, or a hybrid of the two. A public cloud is where all services and infrastructure for the cloud are available via the internet. In contrast, a private cloud is where the services and infrastructure for the cloud are on a private network. Private clouds have the greatest amount of security. However, there are costs involved to ensure that all information on the cloud is kept confidential. Lastly, as seen in the picture, there are hybrids, which offers users a combination of private and public clouds. There are three main types of cloud application services: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. SaaS stands for Software as a Service, PaaS stands for Platform as a Service, and IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service. Software as a Service is the largest cloud market. It uses the internet to run applications, therefore no downloads or installations are required. The second main type is Platform as a Service. It is a computing platform that allows web applications to be created quickly without having to purchase the software and infrastructure that it is developed on. It is an extremely useful tool when developers work collaboratively with one another on software development because the infrastructure is already available for them to customize and develop further. The last type is Infrastructure as a Service. It is the way cloud computing infrastructure is delivered through things such as servers, storage, network, and operating systems. These are some examples of the three. For SaaS, there's Google, NetSuite, Salesforce.com, and IBM Lotus Live. For PaaS, there's Rollbase, LongJump, Google App Engine, Windows Azure, and Force.com. And lastly, for IaaS, there's Joint, Rackspace, VMware, and Amazon Web Services. Cloud computing has become increasingly attractive in the growing market, and therefore there are many pros and cons to it. This image shows the overview of the pros and cons that we'll be talking about today. First, beginning with the top three advantages, which are portability, versatility, and accessibility. Portability is a huge advantage to cloud computing because through the use of the cloud, data can be accessed anywhere and at any time. Even if a user becomes disconnected from the internet, their work is still saved in the cloud. Versatility is another major advantage to cloud computing. Cloud computing can be accessed from any internet-connected device and has many capabilities. The cloud can be used to store pictures, music, documents, videos, and much more while ensuring that anything stored is safe and secure. Lastly, accessibility of data is advantageous to cloud computing. Users have access to all their applications and documents at all times. Here are some more advantages to cloud computing that I did not discuss. They include document control, backup and recovery, streamlined workflow, rapid development, infinite storage, flexibility, security, cost proficient, software integration, and environmentally friendly. Next, we'll take a look at the top 3 disadvantages, which are privacy/security, inaccessibility, and cost. First, many critics argue that any documents or private information on the cloud are vulnerable to online attackers. Not all information placed in the cloud is instantly encrypted and secure. Second, the inaccessibility of certain applications is a disadvantage to cloud computing. There are certain applications on Macintoshes that cannot be accessed through the cloud. Therefore, in the future, it is critical for the cloud's success to bridge the gap and increase the accessibility of certain applications on the cloud. Lastly, the costs associated with cloud computing can be considered disadvantageous to users. There's only a certain amount of storage space granted to users for free. And in order to obtain more storage space, there is a monthly cost associated. While this cost may be small to many, to some users, an extra $1 or $2 spent a month is unattainable. This image goes through the 3 disadvantages I just discussed: cost, security, and privacy concerns. Overall, cloud computing is a field that is continuously growing and developing. More businesses and consumers have switched to using cloud-based devices and systems to store their information. And due to this, it is evident that as technology and innovation continue to thrive, cloud computing will only continue to revolutionize the world that we live in. Thank you for listening to my presentation on cloud computing.